a lovely day. There's not a cloud in the sky. And it's a coolish morning. It was supposed to rain yesterday, but it didn't. However, we got a nice cool front, I guess you call it. So it's a fairly cool, low humidity day. And everything looks really nice in the garden. Somebody took the liberty of doing me the favor of watering my plot. I guess they watered everything, but they watered my plot too. So I wanted to show you how well everything is doing, and I also wanted to show you this corn that I planted, and remind you of how I was concerned that maybe I had been a little too lazy planting the stuff, putting down manure and then planting the corn. Anyway, this is like a jungle over here. You can hardly get around because the plants are so tall. Well, they're like chest high. Those over there are about waist high. These are the first established ones. This is the blue corn. That's the rainbow corn. But anyway, they're doing really well. They're doing really well. They really enjoyed that boost from the manure, and they're exceedingly growing beyond my expectations. Over here, I want to show you, this is my pile of weeds, but actually what it is a compost and play situation where I have planted sweet potatoes. And the sweet potatoes along the edge, and I'm piling weeds on top so that as the weeds decompose, they can benefit the sweet potatoes and cause them to grow nice big bodacious plants, hopefully. That's the hope. That's the hope and the expectation. Anyway, I guess I got here before 10 o'clock. Most days I can't get here anytime before 10. A lot of times if I get here by noon, that's the expectation. I mean, I always hope to come sooner, but excuse me, I almost never come before 12. But anyway, today I came at about 10, so I'm very happy about that. And I hope to get a lot done. I'm sneezing because I was weeding and my hands smell like mugwort, so I think I'm allergic to that stuff. Anyway, I want to get a lot done so I can get out of here before it gets really hot. If it does get any hotter, but anyway. So let me get going. This is a hollyhock. It's one of those things that kind of reseeded itself from years past and has shown up again. I just did a bunch of weeding over here. I planted some marigolds along this edge, and I weeded out all the weeds, well, most of the weeds, except for the bad stuff. I mean the good stuff. What I call selective weeding. I usually don't weed out the stuff that is beneficial to insects, primarily bees, and things that are just not really that noxious, and also things that are beneficial to the soil, like dandelions. Dandelions are good for insects and for the soil, because the taproot goes down and reaches down to the nether parts of the soil and brings up the nutrients that are lost otherwise. So this year, I mean, I haven't really done that before. Most years I kind of ignore dandelions until they're in the way. This year I'm primarily leaving them alone. But anyway, so like I said, I do like this thing called selective weeding. Back back in college, my roommates and her boyfriend, we had wanted to do a garden, and we were studying about this thing, and you know, we used to do this mantra, selective weeding. So anyway, I'd like to say to Brian and Rochelle that I still do selective weeding. Anyway, so I also wanted to show you that I do composting in place by taking the weeds that I pulled and I just kind of tuck them in between these rows of beets and carrots. I've done some over here. This way when they start to decompose, they're already in place, so I don't have to, you know, put weeds in a pile and then come back and then put the stuff that's decomposed into the rows. And in the meantime, you've lost a lot of good nutrition that the plants could have benefited from by leaching into the soil that nothing's going to grow in. That's why a lot of times, oh, big shadow. That's why a lot of times, you know, you see people, you know, they show how, oh, this squash or this tomato grew in my compost heap. And look at how much bigger it is than the other things that I planted in a row or whatever. Alright, so there you have it. I planted some stuff. I put some of the weeds. These are some other beets that I have. I'm just gonna stick them alongside. Anyway, so I mean you've heard of those stories, right? Tomatoes, potatoes, squash, you know, something that you threw into the compost heap and it reseeded itself or resprouted like a potato, and all of a sudden you got this thing, it's massive. You know, instead of doing that with a compost heap, I like to put my compostables right where the plants are growing. So, I don't know. It saves me a few steps. It saves me having to turn a pile, which I will never do because I'm just not that devoted to it. So, anyway, I'm mostly done here. I think I just wanted to enjoy the scenery. My sunflowers are growing like gangbusters. They're these giants. This one here is, I would say, about 5 feet tall by now. It will soon exceed my height because it's got a very thick trunk. And my cornflowers are still growing nicely. I think they're a little bit on the ebb, but they're doing good anyway. Oh no, just kind of stepped on my cosmos. That won't recover. Whatever. There's these oats here, which every year I planted oats a long time ago, like maybe 10 years ago, and I never harvested it. They're kind of hard to harvest. But anyway, every year they reseed themselves, and this year they really like kind of took over this bed here, where I had my garlic, and my garlic over there, and now there's some collard greens that reseeded themselves, and they came up here, and they're doing really good because this bed was really heavily manured, so they're like really loving it. Anyway, so I'm not sure what to do with this thing of oats. It doesn't seem like the seeds are very big. They're not, I don't even know where there's any seeds at all. But they're in there because they reseed themselves every year. And they're actually a bit of a nuisance right now. And this kind of straw, well, this kind of hay, is not really very good for chickens because they this stuff is kind of prickly. The oats are kind of hard. They're kind of, I don't know. I guess I just don't want to have a chicken try to eat the stuff and it gets stuck in her craw, and then before you know it, she's got some kind of issues and stuff like that can kill a chicken, and I really don't want to risk it. But anyway, I might just do like Ruth Stout and use it as hay and just, you know, cover everything. But it's got so many seeds, that's the problem. I don't know, maybe I'll try collecting the seeds and using the rest of the stubble as straw / hay. I don't know, I have to think about it some more. In the meantime, it's drying up and it's probably dropping its seeds, and anyway, I have to think about this real quick. So if somebody out there has any idea what to do with oats, let me know. Thanks for watching. I know you've seen these things before. It's like sometimes it makes a big bunch of little spikes. But this is wild garlic. Sometimes you see the stuff growing in your garden and it looks like chives, but it's actually garlic. It's wild garlic, and sometimes you get a nice sizable head like this one. It's got some decent cloves. And I like to harvest these along with the regular garlic, the domesticated, cultivated garlic, because it's a perfectly usable thing. It's a tasty thing. It's a good condiment. I usually like to cook it with pork primarily because it's a very strong flavored garlic. This is regular garlic. This is wild garlic, so you can get a perspective of the size. So anyway, I like to cook it with pork, maybe beef, you know, but like things when you make like a stew, because the flavor is kind of strong and you kind of sometimes need to help it mellow out a bit by long cooking. Alright, here's one. Oh, that's a good one. And these things here, the thing that's at the top, this is actually tiny garlic bulbs. They're not seeds exactly, but if you plant these as seeds, they will grow and they will perpetuate themselves forever, which really that's what happens. Whenever spring comes, I'm usually out here pulling these garlics like crazy, and I leave some because I do like to harvest wild garlic, but they could really literally take over your garden because there's so many. But anyway, there's like just that one has like, I don't know, maybe 100 or so. So anyway,